How's it? I'm Christo and welcome to the Diamond Cornerstone. Purpose of this channel is I believe we have to transform how we're thinking. Everything that we see in the world is symptomatic of how we're thinking, because how we think is how we will do, and from how we do, then we can assess it, and this will actually be able to, then we can reflect on on our our assessment. Was it good? Was it bad? And then we can learn lessons and improve quality. And this cuts character ethic, which is all the nice things: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, that which we strive for, the ideal. And this will then affect us again when we redefine the task. So the diamond in its essence is based on a process cycle, on process thinking, as opposed to our current thinking, which is linear, random, separate, competition, conflict. And if we can get into a process, we can actually go cyclical, integrated, systematic, and this promotes cooperation and mutual service. And so a good tide or a tide lifts all ships, so we can actually build a prosperous family unit, community, town, city, province, state, and actually improve humanity at large. Okay, so that's the essence. Today's focus is motivation, at least momentum. Again, we see this in sport. At the beginning of the season, the guys have basically been off from competitive action for a while. And so they've got to refeel each other, the players on the field, and actually get the cohesion of the working unit running again. Now, personally, I like to run, but if you don't run for, let's say, 2 weeks, then you've got to start again almost from scratch. The muscle memory is there, but you've got to get going and get the momentum going. Now, I believe this also, due to the diamond's fractal nature, it applies to very small things: cup of coffee, mixing cement, mowing the lawn, building a house. It also applies to state at large. So if we can change how we're thinking, we can change the whole system. But again, this is where the critique comes in for South Africa, is we changed government in 1994. So we had a serious amount of momentum with regard to infrastructure development, spatial planning, finances. All these systems were in place, disaster management. And the beauty of 1994 is we had an infrastructure designed specifically for about 5 million people, but then we had to fit 44 million people on top of that. So the personal take is 44 million people onto an infrastructure of 5 million. You just have to imitate. Train up all your municipal areas, because not only it's new leadership, yeah? So keep the bureaucrats. A bureaucrat doesn't care if it's black, white, Asian, colored, Indian. They're there to do a bureaucratic job, which is dot the T's, at least dot the I's and cross the T's. And so actually build up a very strong, we had a very strong administrative system. Okay, now the beauty of the administrative system, and this is my belief on the British Empire, is they had the same administrative system in New Zealand, India, Australia, across all their colonies, which was actually kind of wild, because if you've got a good administrator, if you can measure it, you can manage it. So all the new governments had to do in 1994 was keep the administrative system and learn how it works, how the thinking was to expand the roads infrastructure, expand the rail infrastructure, expand the sewage infrastructure, expand the electricity infrastructure, but expand the state-owned enterprises. That would be things like the rails, the ports, the airline, the broadcasting company, South African Broadcasting Corporation. So everybody could actually expand and grow and up the game. And we could have moved this country from a hierarchy to a heterarchy. We've got this beautiful thing called tribal structures that needed to be made economically viable. We've got homelands, we've got chiefs. The chief just needs basic business ingenuity and he can start, but instead now we've got tribal trusts that are dependent on state. If you've got a couple of million hectares of land, you can run cattle, you can run crop production, you can run, and all those people can eat, and all of them can have good livelihoods. You can't depend on state. State is there to provide the stage. South Africa's got this beautiful thing. Our politicians are superstars. They're celebrities, but they should actually be invisible because their whole job is to make sure that the stage is set for us to play. The sportsmen to do their job, the entertainers to do their job, the business owners to do their jobs. And we've got serious need for businesses. We've got like 4,000 previously disadvantaged communities, aka shanty towns, connected to cities. But with the momentum of 1994, now we've got 66 million people, but we've broken all our momentum, all our developmental momentum. And development, as per the diamond, would be infrastructure, resources, education. You've got to develop the people as well as the product or the service that you wish to render. The world is economic. It's all about trade. It's all about money out, money in. Okay? Expenses and income and expenses. That's it. Let's just get away from the whole, how does it make you feel? The bottom line is, if you're hungry, how does it make you feel? What makes you feel uncomfortable, frustrated, blah, blah, blah. We've got to up the game and get the diamonds to run correctly from the local individual to state at large. And we've got to change how we think as South Africans. It's not about color, it's not about religion, it's not about sexuality, it's about get the job done. The brick doesn't care your background when it has to get placed in when you're building a wall. The brick doesn't care. The hammer doesn't care, but it has to whack in the nail. The drill doesn't care. It's all about competence and skill. And we have an unemployment rate at the moment in South Africa. Youth unemployment is of like 60-something%. That means they're unskilled and they don't have a place to work. Now, I understand from the state's perspective, if you go to a Department of Agriculture, they're going to say, cool, we've got the money to invest in farming, but do you have the people who can work the farm? So instead of training the people up, because that's a different department, but actually this has already been signed, because there's this thing called an Intergovernmental Departments Act, where the state departments should coordinate. Diamonds should coordinate with each other so as to get the turn. But if we're running linear systems, then we're actually running past each other and through, and not with each other. Okay, so the bottom line is we've lost momentum, and we're gonna have to figure out how to get the momentum going again, because the current trajectory is heading for collapse. We're losing our trading partners. We're losing our infrastructure. Environment is changing. Inaction is an action. And maybe that's what I'm calling the government has been inactive for 31 years. And so we've got a decline in infrastructure, piping, water, electricity, and basic services. So we've got to start somewhere, and it starts with how we think. So I'd recommend we take the stone that was rejected by the builders and make it the chief cornerstone, and I recommend we make it a diamond. And yeah, diamond cornerstone can be something beautiful. And that's our thinking. Blessings for the day, and yeah, let's build state.